Hello, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup. Can you guys see me? What do you guys see? Do you see my charts? I'm doing this one thing, and I'm just want to make sure you guys can see my charts. Okay, you can see my charts. So can you see me now? How about now? That doesn't work? Just charts, huh? All right. Wonder if this. Let me try something really quick. Oh well, screw it. I'm getting rid of this. All right. All right. So I was just I've been doing a few things. We are since you guys are ForexAnalytix traders, we're working on some things behind the scenes that are very, very, very exciting for you guys. And it's like all these projects are coming to a head at once, which I'm sitting here, and let me see if you guys can see me now. You guys can see me now, right? Okay. So we have all these, we have all these projects coming up that are they're to benefit you guys, but also to broaden our reach as for ForexAnalytix. And it's like today, for some weird reason, it was a bunch of calls all at once. And which stinks, because I'm sitting here watching the market, trying to talk, trying to speak, trying to write things down based on these calls, and then try to stay in my trades at the same time. But I have been following the markets very closely, and so we're going to kind of recap some of the observations that I've made, but I'm not as attentive as I was yesterday as a result. But let's talk first of all about the Bank of Canada. All right. Yeah, because Jason said, any thoughts on the BOC? It sounds like they want a strong Canadian dollar. I don't know if they necessarily want a strong Canadian dollar, but what they did do, you have to think about their actions. Okay. And this is what I told everybody in the chat room. And just so you guys know, I'm still short Canadian dollars. All right. So I'm actually, let me look at my cost average here. Give me 1 second. So, my cost average on my dollar Canadian longs is still 125.24. So, I mean, I'm still long. Obviously, I'm sitting here going, damn it, we just tested the right shoulder again of the inverted head and shoulder pattern. We're still outside of the wedge. So I'm not worried about it, but I also know this. And just so you know, I'm still short Canadian yen right at current prices. I just had to adjust the pattern and play from, moving up your stops type of thing. But personally, I'm still short Canadian yen, just so you guys know. The reason why I'm not so worried is because we're still trying to carve out this shoulder. We also just had a rally in equities. So as long as, and I told the guys in this chat room, if you're not in the chat room, I'm telling you now, but it's all still relevant, is that the Bank of Canada is the only central bank that has really tapered. So think about that. Regardless of what a disaster the news release was and what was published on Bloomberg, thank God I didn't chase dollar Canadian higher above 126 and a quarter, because as you can see here on the chart, we didn't break 126.50. Well, I mean, we barely did, but I mean, it was just up for a moment, right? So I you know me, I like to see sustained breakouts. If I'm going to trade a breakout, it's got to be like, okay, we broke out and we're not going to do a false breakout. At least there's a, much better chance. But when we just probe up there, I'm not willing to just start buying. So the dollar Canadian didn't break out. It slumped back to 125.50. And as I told you guys on the face webinar, I wanted to add down there anyway. So I did add. Okay. Now, I didn't expect it to come all the way back down to 124.75 either, or let alone 124.60. And in the chat room, I think I said this, but I was thinking it. If I didn't say it, I was thinking it at the time. I have to go back and look because I was on a call. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if they took us just below those lows, stopped out some people, and then bounced back. And that's kind of what we've done. All right. Now, equities have rallied. So we've seen equities push higher, which is maddening as it is. I mean, we all know it is. But the Canadian dollar is not going to weaken while stocks are going higher. If stocks come down, that's the only shot we have in the dollar Canadian moving higher at this point, because whether you like it or not, the Bank of Canada did taper their bond purchases. Have they raised their interest rates? No, but what they are doing is they're basically easing off, and they were expected to do so. They were expected to do so. But, you know, the market, I think, got a little excited that they just left everything unchanged. And that's why you saw that flurry of buying above 126. And so all those people that were selling Canadian dollars above 126, buying dollar Canadian, this move down was all of them getting stopped out. For those of us that are like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I still think the dollar Canadian is acting well. That's how I still feel. I look at this, longer term development, and I'm like, okay, we're still developing the head and shoulder pattern. This is still the neckline. We still have some work to do. And the work that needs to be done, in my opinion, is you need to see stocks come down. And once or if stocks come down, then at that point, you will see, you're going to see the, dollar Canadian start to move higher, in my opinion. All right. So have I lost hope with the Canadian dollar? No. Am I irritated? Extremely. Okay. Extremely. So just to answer your question, Jason, that's my 2 cents there. You guys don't need to see me anymore. Thank goodness. Right. See, who else is almost 50 years old and they go like this at you, right? Lorraine says, I like seeing you. Oh, I like seeing you too. Yay. Okay, I'm done. All right, let's get back to business. All right, so a couple other things that are in my opinion that are first of all, let's look at equities. So equities rallied right back to that trend line. We drew that this morning, remember, on the face webinar. Okay, right here. Tony said you have a credible face, and Steven says much better with a face cam. Really? You guys really feel that way? And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that, like, would you rather, I'm asking, okay, so I'm going to ask your opinion. This is totally your opinion. You can just you can write in chat, tell me how you feel. Would you rather see me looking at charts, seeing my face so you know what my reaction is, rather than me going, well, the dollar Canadian is rallying. You'd rather see? All right, Jane says it's more engaging to have your face. Tony says the same thing. Malia says seeing your face is good. Okay, all right, fair enough. I know, look, I'm not everybody's taste, never ever plan to be either. But if you think it's better from an engagement standpoint, like, oh, I understand he really is feeling emotional about this, then I'll be more than happy to. Tony said, finger in the nose is a nice touch. Thank you. I tried. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it up, and I'll do it for you guys daily. I just got to make sure I have all this crap off my desk. Don't mind the camera. Don't mind the phone. Don't need that. All right. Okay. All right. So. That's it. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the S&P. Thank you for your feedback, by the way. Jason said, actually, it's great to see you in such a great mood since you left Gelos. Hopefully the Greek gods will be back soon. They will. Should be buying the dollar Mexican peso right now. Whoa.
Anyway, you know what is holding up pretty well though is the dollar Mexican peso. Let's talk about it. It's testing wedge support. So we're back at wedge support. We are testing now the 618 retracement down at the 1985. I can't get super bullish until we're above 20, but I think building longs down here makes a lot of sense. As long as stocks start to move, lower, and so the S&P should have some resistance up here. I look at the Nasdaq. I was surprised the Nasdaq broke out or is as strong as it is. But then again, you know, if the whole market thinks that, you know, the Nasdaq should be going down, it makes sense that it, you know, rallied back. Let's take a look at the US dollar Norwegian krona. So as you guys know, I'm building longs here again. And one of the reasons why is obviously the false breakdown. I have hope that this is one of the Wyckoff, you know, pullbacks. You know, this was a low volume breakdown. We got the reversal, and but I'm not really super confident until we're above 8.40, 840, and at that point in time, that's when I'm going to take, you know, my long and move stops up, because, you know, right now you have risk, obviously. So if you're looking at, you know, this chart, let me just draw it out for you guys. So if you're looking at this chart, let's say you're, let me move it just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. So let's say you enter here, right? So right now your risk is somewhere down here, and your reward is up here, right? So if the US dollar Norwegian krona makes a little bit of a move and it moves above 840, right? Then let's say you entered and I'm drawing because not everybody's going to enter at the exact same price, right? So you entered somewhere around here, or, you know, somewhere around here. So if it actually breaks higher, then what I would be doing is moving stops to protect, right? And then from there, then you can, you know, hopefully ride it out. And it's kind of like the Canadian yen. It's like, okay, well, you short the Canadian yen, you got stopped out, break even, or maybe slightly, you know, negative or slightly positive. You can go at it again if it sets up. And that's the same thing is here. And Catherine said, that's nice. Carrot donkey. Donkey. Take the carrot donkey. She understands that joke. It's a funny joke. It's funny. Especially you guys. I know you guys love it. So I love it too. You know, if I can make myself laugh, you know, it's funny. That's not true. I make myself laugh all the time, and it's not funny most of the time. All right. So one of the other things that I'll be looking for today, all right, one of the things I'll be looking for today is volatility. Is I want to see volatility is actually holding up fairly well. It's kind of like stocks have bounced back, volatility pulled back, stocks haven't hit new highs, volatility hasn't hit new lows either. So, you know, let's keep an eye on volatility, because by the end of the session, you know, if we start to move back up in volatility, then that's gonna be one of those catalysts that helps stocks pull back a little bit. Okay, just something again I'm keeping an eye on moving into today. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And you know, let's go to Crude. So I know I mentioned this before I leave. I mentioned this separately, that it doesn't have anything to do with necessarily the markets. But as you can see, Crude, even though we, you know, sold off, made a new low, we bounced back. It's like here we sold off a new low, we bounced back. But we are making our way towards triangle support. And this is one of those catalysts, in my opinion, is if Crude actually starts to break lower. This is the Canadian and Norwegian krona trigger. Like I said this morning, if we actually do break lower in Crude, I think you have to take a look at the Canadian and at Norway. No matter where they're at that moment, you have to say, okay, I need to sell those, because they're going to be the closest closest thing correlated to crude. And I think crude, you can see how we've broken this trend line already. Now this trend line is at risk, and if we break that one, that's when, yeah. If you don't have any Norway or Canadian currency short, that's when you have to start thinking, okay, I should consider it. Steven said, sorry, so VIX up, S&P down. How do they relate? So volatility, when volatility goes up, it's usually a result of S&Ps going down. So they are very strongly correlated. Volatility can go up if stocks go higher, like if stocks rally higher, but typically it's at what rate they move up or down. So because the S&P, we've been going up on an elevator, we're probably going to fall down, or up on an escalator, sorry, we'll fall down an elevator. You know, when you're traveling up like this, usually the fall is pretty abrupt, right? So whenever you get an abrupt move, volatility spikes. So we could get a volatility spike if the S&P did this. You know, we went from 4159 in the S&P to 4,500 immediately. Volatility would spike up too. We'd boom, you know, go straight up. Volatility would spike because that'd be but typically stocks don't spike up like that. They tend to, because stocks are constantly in a grind higher, they just spike down, volatility goes up, then they, you know, start to move up again over time, right? So volatility up, stocks down more times than not. Oh, what I was going to say to you before I finish here. So I have been on a lot of calls today, this is all to, you know, it's not like I've been on, you know, what I do at ForexAnalytix is to obviously benefit the ForexAnalytix family or the company so we can continue to grow, but we don't sacrifice things. We look to add value to you as a customer. So what we're doing here and the things that we're doing here is all to benefit you as well. Yes, we're trying to build ForexAnalytix into a bigger, you know, hub always, you know, you've seen it, especially those of you that have been with us first, you know, since the inception. Start off with like 4 of us. Now there's like 10 of us, and you know we continue to grow the team. But by growing the team brings more value to you as a customer. And what we're working on right now, the few projects that we're working on, I think are going to benefit you guys and gals in the future quite a bit. So just from the knowledge that's going to be coming your way, to the education, to those of you that feel like, oh, you know, I need brushing up on this and that and the other thing, we'll have solutions for you. So there's a lot of projects that we have, and a lot of things that we're going to be working on for the next several months as a group, ForexAnalytix as a group, but it's all to benefit you guys as traders. And remember, it's kind of like feel like a state of the union from ForexAnalytix right now. But if you have any questions or any recommendations, I'm always game to hear you out, especially you guys. You know, you are our most valued. So email me. I'm bmorrow@forexanalytix.com. ForexAnalytix with an X. Remember, always with an X. You know, bmorrow@forexanalytix.com. If you ever have any recommendations, like Blake, I'd love to see this. I can't guarantee that that I'll be able to fulfill those needs, or our team will, but we'll do our best. And you know, obviously, the more of the same recommendation, I'll be like, okay, everybody's asking for this specific thing. We need to figure out how to do it. So, anyway, you guys are great. Thank you all for your support, and have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye, guys.